All right, so we'll start with an introduction. I think some of you already spoke to me, some of you not, and I'm assuming in some capacity you know me. In case if you haven't had a chance to look at who am I, what I have done, where I am. My name is Jyoti Periyaswamy. I'm the instructor for both the course, HANA with BI, HANA with EPM. Instead of me talking more about myself, you can either do a Google search on my name, or you can look at my LinkedIn profile, which would give you more broader view than me talking about myself. Okay, so if you really want to get to know more about me, I would suggest check my LinkedIn, which has more details around what I'm doing, what I have been doing, and where I stand and everything. So I'm going to move on to next one. Okay, like I said, some of you already spoke to me. Hold on. I kept people on mute. Some of you already spoken to me, so you know I know about you a little bit, but people whom I have not spoken, we will get an opportunity to connect again this week or next week. We'll go one-on-one, correct? I don't want to take this time to get to know each one of you better, okay? So the goal for all of us, right? The goal for all of us, two things. One is gain true practical skills, right? Gain true practical skills. It's not just learning the tool, okay? Learning tool is good. I'm not denying on that one, but that is not going to really help solve business issues. To solve business issues, we need to have practical skills, right? So the objective for all of us in the room, so number one, gain practical skills, right? That includes understanding start to finish how these kind of solutions are developed and how it's been deployed. So that is what I meant by practical skills, not just learning about click here, do this, and do that type of situation. Number two, how do we transform this investment, right? The time, money, hard work, everything into tangible. What do you mean by tangible? Landing in a perfect opportunity, or finding something what you are going to enjoy, or finding something where it makes you more financially beneficial, okay? So all of those, what I would call an outcome, okay? An outcome. So there are two ways I'm looking at this. So number one, gain real practical skills, okay? I'm sure some of you already in SAP, some of you not, but I'm assuming all of you working professionals, some of you may or may not. So when you look at industry, what really going to make you difference? So the knowledge what you have, okay? The more power you gain based on your knowledge. Of course, there are other things matters, politics and all, but that's not we can do here. That's something you know how to handle it. So the more knowledge you gain, the more power you gain. The more power you gain, the more confidence you gain, okay? So these are all important. So number one, out of the course, I want to make sure if you are serious, if you are sincere, you have tremendous knowledge and power to go and deal these areas. Number two, transforming those knowledge into more tangible, landing employment opportunity with the company or whatever goal you have, okay? So based on that. So that is how I'm seeing this one, okay? All right. So let's start from the learning roadmap. What is it we are going to learn, right? So we have many things to talk, right? Like there are many things to talk. So I'm sure our course is focused on two areas, right? So if you look at SAP, okay, if you look at SAP, okay, I'm just focusing on SAP, not in going into in general, right? So within SAP itself, which is most common, okay, which most common or demanding skills, okay? So which is the most common and demanding skill within SAP? So if you take that perspective, I'm not throwing this just across industry, within SAP I'm talking about. So within SAP, what kind of skills people are looking for? So I would rate EPM, okay, as a unique skill to have. Second is BI, business intelligence, okay, business intelligence. The next is EIM, information management. Okay. So if you go to any company, okay, who provides SAP services, so they all talk about these things. Okay, they all talk about these things. What is this? This is the enterprise performance management. Okay, this is the enterprise performance management. Okay, performance management. So this is enterprise performance management. What does this mean? So we will take a look real quick. So EPM stands for Enterprise Performance Management. The next one is, I'm sure you know, business intelligence. Okay, business intelligence. So this is the business intelligence. Okay, the first one is Enterprise Performance Management. Second is the business intelligence. Okay, business intelligence. Okay. So business intelligence is the second area where people are focusing. Next is information management. Okay, next is information management. This is enterprise information management. Okay, enterprise information management. So these are the most common skills industries looking at the moment. Okay, so the skill where you could market yourself within SAP, it's going to be any one of these areas. So that means less crowd, more demand. Okay, I say less crowd, more demand. A lot of people say, I know. I knowing is different and I am capable of solving problem is different, correct? I knowing is different than I'm capable of solving these kind of problems. Okay, so point is, what is the most demanding skills within SAP? These areas. Okay, these areas. So what is this one is doing? Okay, what is EPM is doing? So EPM is primarily focused on, okay, EPM primarily focused for, hold on a second. Like I said, I kept people in the in an unmute mode, so that there's some background noise. I have to keep on muting this one. Okay, one second. So this EPM, okay, is the performance management. If it does, this itself does the performance management. So what we do here? Here we do planning. Okay, here we do planning, budgeting. Okay, so planning, budgeting. Sorry. So planning, budgeting, forecasting. Okay, forecasting, and then consolidation. Okay, planning, budgeting, forecasting, consolidation. So that is basically the core activity that you do. Okay, and of course management and statutory reporting. Okay, management and reporting. Management reporting. Let's keep it management and statutory reporting. Okay, so these are the core functions we do under the here. Okay, so under here, what we do under EPM we focus on these areas, correct? So planning, budgeting, forecasting, and we also focus on reporting side. Okay, so these are the core functions you perform. Okay, so EPM, Enterprise Performance Management. Under here, you perform planning, budgeting, forecasting, consolidation, management, and statutory reporting. Okay, or it could be operational reporting. What is the tool primarily used for this one? So this is what BPC does. Okay, so what is the tool this is used for? This is SAP BPC. Okay, this is SAP BPC. Okay, this is SAP BPC. All right, and this particular one. Okay, how do we classify? Is it like a functional skill, or is it a technical skill, or it's both? I would rate this is more functional, less technical. Okay, so I would say, so this is more functional skills than a technical skills. Okay, so we really need to understand financial processes. Okay, so we really need to understand financial processes. So this is basically going to be, I would say, more functional, less technical. Okay, more functional and less technical. Okay, less technical. So this is what EPM primarily focus. Okay, so the focus of EPM is going to be all these things. So what is involved? So if you notice here, so this is the enterprise performance management. What we do, planning, budgeting, forecasting, and what kind of tool that we'll be using, this can be based on BPC. All right, and is it a functional or a technical? This is more functional, less technical. Okay, so this is what EPM primarily focuses on. All right, So now let's look at here what we do, BI side. This is traditional BI, and then there is a new dimensional BI, correct? So traditional BI is primarily focused on reporting. So we concentrate here on reporting. It could be management reporting, or it could be operational reporting, okay? So this could be reporting, or it could be data analysis, okay? Data analysis, or it could be data visualization, okay? Data visualization. So this is more focused on data visualization, data analysis. So this is the traditional BI, okay? This is the traditional BI. If it's a new dimensional, they focus more on data sciences and the big data science, okay? If it's a new dimensional area, it's going to focus on big data and data sciences, okay? So big data and data sciences. So this is the main focus. I'm not going to call just it's going to be based on only business objects. It will be combination of technology, but I would say primary focus. Okay, here the primary focus. Okay, primary focus. Okay, focus tools, primary focus. Okay, so focus. This is for tool. So what is the primary focus of the tool here in this case? Is going to be business objects. Okay, so this is going to be more on the business object side. Okay, so what tool we will be using here? So this is going to be more focused on business objects. Okay, this is going to be more focused on the business objects. So this is more on the BO. Okay, business objects. So business object would be the primary tool will be used in this case. Okay, so if it's a traditional BI, you will be going for reporting, data analysis, data visualization. If you are going for new dimensions, then that is going to be more on the big data concepts and data sciences. Okay, what it is, we'll cover this one. So that is the another focus area within SAP. And how do we classify this? Is it functional or technical, or how do we go about this one? So I would say this is more technical, less functional. Okay, more technical. Okay, this is more technical and less functional. So doesn't mean that you don't have to have functional skill. You do have to have a functional skill, but the point is, the audience who you are going to deal may not be business people, okay? Could be IT people, or people could be different skill sets or something like that, correct? So that's the next area, okay? That's the next area. So which is the BI. What is the EIM stands for? Enterprise Information Management. What is the primary focus for this guy, okay? What is the primary focus for this guy? So this is going to be data management, okay? This is going to be data management. Data integration, okay, data integration, data governance, okay, data governance, data quality, okay, data quality, data conversion, okay, mapping, okay, transformation, okay, etc. So these are all very much data-driven activity, okay, data-driven activity. So this is exclusively focused on data, okay, this is exclusively focused on data. So this is the core area that we are going to deal under EIM. All right. What kind of tool that we need in this case? Okay. In this case, the primary focus for this tool, it could be business objects and then MDM. Okay. It could be SAP BOBJ, which is data services, or plus could be MDM. Okay. Plus could be MDM. So business object data services, or it could be MDM. So these are the primary tools. Okay. So this is the primary tool. I would say same thing here. So this is more technical, less functional. Okay, this is more technical, less functional. So point what I'm trying to say. Okay, point what I'm trying to say. How do I basically like now, excuse me, take these kind of solutions and build my skill sets? Correct. So if someone wanted to understand, where do I come into picture? It's your interest. It's your way of looking at these things, right? Where you will be successful. I would say all of them have equal amount of opportunity, equal amount of responsibility, equal amount of whatever we call, but it's up to us where we fit into, okay? So I just told you, if you have to go ahead and learn an SAP tool or an SAP skill set, what that would be, okay? At a higher level, these are the area. Underneath, there could be many tools. Underneath, there could be many different technologies. Underneath, there could be many different processes, right? I can focus on finance. I can focus on supply chain. I can focus on whatever, right? But this is the core area where you see more demand in the market space. So it's purely your call where you want to focus, how much you want to be learning in each of this area and successful. Okay. So why I brought this one, this goes back to our learning roadmap, right? The learning roadmap, it is going to be primarily driven by the demand and supply. Okay. What is the demand? What is the supply? So all I can say, okay, there will be people in the market who says, I know this one, but do they really know? Not really, right? Not really. So they can talk few things, but when you go to in-depth detail, they may not be able to do it. So you identify where you want to focus on. So our training is going to focus on all these three areas. So where the EIM comes into picture, EIM primarily comes into picture along with the BI part of it. Okay? So BI, along with BI, we cover data services. Along with EPM, we cover data services. Okay? So point what I'm trying to make, okay, the point what I'm trying to make. So for these two, there will be a foundational learning for data services, correct? So you will also learn EIM. I'm not going to make you an expert in this space, but you will learn this tool, this portion of this one. So the information management, which is part of the SAP, okay, this is part of the SAP BO data services, okay, BO data services. So what does this mean? When you use HANA, HANA will use data services as the ETL tool. Okay. The point is, you will also learn data services regardless of what is the focus is going to be. If it's BI, you will go very in depth. Okay. So BI people will learn this in depth. EPM people will go a little light on this one. Okay. So this is going to be an in-depth learning. EIM going to be an in-depth learning. EIM is going to be an in-depth, okay, and in-depth learning for the BI people, okay, for the BI people. So the BI people will learn this in-depth, okay, will learn this in-depth actually. For the EPM, it's going to be little light, okay. So why? There's no reason to focus too much in this one when we have to focus for other areas, right? So whether you are part of the BI or part of the EIM, the EPM, so you will learn this information management concepts and other things by using data services. Okay, I'm going to explain why it is required. Whether you like it, don't like it, BPC, the data manager package, and other things, I'm hoping it's going to go away soon. Okay, when I don't know, but it's going to go away soon. Okay, so now coming to here. So this is EPM. Okay, so EIM is going to be an depth learning. It's light, I would say, light learning for EPM people. Okay, so but you will learn this one. You will understand where data services comes into picture. Okay, where data services comes into picture, you will understand this one. So overall, this is what I would say we are going to focus on. Okay, make sure you are very clear on these things. Okay, where to focus on this one. I'm talking within SAP. Outside of SAP, I'm not sure. Okay, we are not talking about outside of SAP. So within SAP, where do we focus? What should I be doing? This is what it is. Okay, all right. So our course is going to address these two areas. When we focus on this, we are also going to teach you the information management. Okay, we are also going to teach the information management. All right. So what are we going to learn and where to focus on this one? How does the learning is going to work actually? Okay, how does the learning is going to work? So the learning is going to work on divided into two areas. Okay, the common area and the core area. Okay, so what we're talking about, learning roadmap. Okay, learning roadmap. So learning roadmap. So how are we going to learn this one? Okay, how are we going to learn this one? So the learning roadmap is going to be like this. Okay, for both the track. Okay, for both the track, the learning is going to be like this actually. Okay, 1 second. So we will start with. Okay, the learning roadmap is going to start with. So it's going to be SAP HANA. That's going to be the foundation. Okay, SAP HANA is going to be the foundation. It's common for both of us. Okay, so I'll explain. So the starting point is going to be SAP HANA. Okay, the starting point is going to be SAP HANA. So that is where we're going to start. Okay, SAP HANA is going to be the start. So then from there, we're going to go to the next step. What is the next step? So we do need to understand SAP BW. Okay, SAP BW. So that is again the next level of learning. Then after that, they're going to focus on SAP ECC. Okay, SAP ECC. So we do need to understand SAP ECC. So up to this, it's common for everybody. Okay, so this is going to be a common learning roadmap for all of us. Okay, this is the common learning roadmap. So this area, everybody will learn. Okay, we have to understand this really very well. So this is, up to this point, it's common whether you study BI or you study EPM. Okay, whether you study BI or EPM. So this is going to be common. So this is the common learning for both EPM and BI. Okay, this is the common learning. Okay, this is the common learning. Okay, for both EPM and BI. Okay, for both EPM and BI. So for both EPM and BI, this is going to be common learning. Okay, this is going to be common learning. It is important for all of us to understand. Okay, all right. I will come in terms of how many hours we are going to spend and what else we are going to do. I will come there. So this is going to be common for all of us. Okay, so HANA to BW, BW to ECC. So once we complete this one, then each track will have own stuff to do. So this is going to be SAP EPM. Okay, SAP EPM. So they are going to focus primarily on BPC. Okay, their focus is going to be on BPC. So this is going to be more focused on BPC. Okay, this is going to be more focused on SAP BPC. Okay, SAP BPC. So this is the EPM track where we're going to focus on strictly on BPC. The next is going to be this the BI track. Okay, this is going to be the SAP BI track. So BI track is going to focus on SAP BOBJ, business objects. So what is that they are going to learn in this one? Okay, so within business objects, they are going to learn all these different things. So here they're going to focus on number one, data services. Number one, data services. Number two, universe. Okay, number three, dashboard design studio. Okay, so design studio. Okay, design studio. Okay, next dashboard designer. Okay, dashboard designer. Then Webby. Okay, then Webby. Then Lumira. So I will list all of those tools, but this is the focus for these people. Okay, so for the BA track, they're going to focus on these areas. Okay, for the BA track, they're going to focus on this one. So data services, universe, design studio, Webby, and etc. Okay, Lumira, those tools. So the point is, the focus of here actually, it's going to be around this. Okay, this is what we're going to learn. So this is how the learning roadmap is going to look. Okay, so this is primarily the focus. Here is for common, everyone to understand what's HANA, what's BW, what's ECC, and what is EPM, what's BPC, and then BI and BOBJ. Right? These are the tools that we learned this one. All right. So now, how much time we need to spend where to focus? Correct? How much time I need to spend where to focus? So this is common learning, and this is focused for a specific track. Okay, this is track level learning. Okay, this is I'm learning by track. This is by track. Okay, this is by track. I'm learning this one. So this is track individual tracks. Okay, this is individual tracks. Okay, this is for individual tracks. So this is the individual track level learning. Now, how much time I'm going to spend this one? Okay, how much time I'm going to spend this one? All right, let's take a look at this. The time that is required. So let's put the time here itself. Okay, so in this case, okay, learning roadmap, how much time we need to spend? Okay, timing. In terms of timing, how much time to spend, or where do we need to focus on? So I'm not going to quantify, but I'm going to say this one. You should spend at least 20% of your time. Okay, 20 to 25%. 20 to 25% of your time should be spent here. Okay, so time we need to spend here. Okay, time should be spent here. Okay, should be spent here. So we should spend 20 to 25% of your time in this learning process. Okay, so you should spend this much time to learn this. Okay, you should spend so this much time to learn this one. So this is very important for you to understand, because we can't really learn everything at one time. Okay, so the focus of this one should be 20 to 25%. Okay, keep in mind, but when you build solution, it's going to come everywhere. Okay, I'll show you in a minute. How about this one? So I would say somewhere between, it's all based on your comfort level. Okay, so based on your comfort level. So 15 to 25% of your time should be spent here. Okay, and this is basically the next level. I would say 10 to 15% of your time should be spent here. So we do need to understand this one. So this is how I see, okay? But you may think, if I'm going to spend only 25% of time in HANA, how do we become an expert? Or how do we spend, like, how do we have in-depth skills in HANA? So even though we are just saying that spend 25%, but when you build a solution, HANA is going to be the foundation. Okay, HANA. So every step what you do is going to touch HANA. Okay, every step you are going to do is going to touch HANA. So this is primarily from learning perspective. How much time I should spend? Where do I need to focus on? Okay, how much time I spend? Where do I need to focus on? So this is something that I felt works well. It's all depends on your comfort level. If you are really comfort, you can adjust these numbers. So the remaining time should go in the individual track. Okay, the remaining time should go in the individual track. So this could be 50 to 60%. So based on your comfort level, or whatever way you want to distribute this one, I'm absolutely fine. Okay, so this I would say somewhere between 50 to 60%. Okay, 50 to 60%. 50 to 60% of your time should be spent here. Okay, 50 to 60% of your time should be spent here. 50 to 60% of your time should be spent here. So in terms of the number of hours that I need to spend, it purely depends on your comfort level. So this is, I'm just helping you to where to focus on this. Okay, so this just I'm telling that where do I need to focus? Okay, where do I have to focus on this one? So this is something that you can make your own call, but I'm just letting you know, if you don't have this kind of distribution, then it's going to be a problem. Okay, 50 to 60% of your time you should be spending here. Okay, so why do I need to learn all of those? Okay, why do we need to learn all of those? Let's understand this. Okay, so why do we need to learn all these things together? So let's take one at a time. Let's take EPM. Okay, let's take EPM. I'm trying to learn EPM. Okay, what I'm trying to learn? EPM. So an EPM solution. Okay, EPM solution. Example, revenue planning. Okay, example, revenue planning, cost planning. Okay, cost planning, financial close. Okay, financial close. So this is what we are implementing for retail client like Costco. Okay, so this is financial close for a retail client. Okay, a retail client. So this we are trying to implement for a retail client. So I want to implement the solution for a retail client. What is involved? Let's assume the client is using SAP BPC NW 10.1. The client is want to implement SAP BPC NetWeaver 10.1. What is involved in implementing the solution? Obviously 10.1, it's going to use HANA. Okay, if we are going to use unified model, no option HANA. Okay, so to do this activity, to plan for revenue, to plan for cost, or even to do a financial close, okay, even to do a financial close, what you need actuals. Okay, you need actuals. Where is your actuals? Most likely your actuals are in a transactional system. Okay, so this is ECC. I'm just throwing something here. So this is, it could be any system. Okay, this is the source for actual. Okay, this is source for actual. This is source for actuals. Okay, this is source for actuals. So what is the system that is? In this case, it's the SAP ECC. Okay, what is the source for actuals? In this case, it's SAP ECC. Okay, this is SAP ECC. So we do need to understand SAP ECC. What do you mean by actuals? Actuals means, so let's say I'm talking about GL postings. Okay, GL postings, general ledger postings. Let's say I'm talking about, okay, payroll. Okay, I need payroll. So what is payroll? That's part of your cost planning, or it could be part of your headcount planning. Okay, so I need payroll. Okay, I need payroll information. I need payroll information. So how do we get this information? I need a source system. So this is your source system. Okay, this is your source system. Okay, this is your source system. So this source system we have to understand really well. Yes, you can say I know ECC. If I don't understand what table that is, okay, and what kind of data I'm going to bring in, then I may not have enough value here, okay. So in order for you to build an effective solution, you do need to know what is the source from where you are getting the data. As an example, I told you the company wanted to implement a revenue planning, cost planning, financial close for a retail client, and they are using BPC NetWeaver 10.1. In order to implement this, what they wanted actuals, which is GL posting payroll information. I'm just giving examples. It could be anything, okay? It could be anything. So now what do I need to do? I need to take this data into the next step, HANA, right? So that is what BPC NetWeaver 10.1 is going to do. So the next step is going to be, how do we bring this data? I need to use HANA. I need to use HANA. All right. What is the next step? HANA is primarily for storing data. It's the primary database. Now, so this is for database. Okay, what is HANA? HANA is the now database. Okay, it is not Oracle, it's not Microsoft SQL. Now HANA become the primary data centralized database. Now SAP HANA become, okay, SAP HANA become the centralized. Keep your phone on mute. Okay, I kept everybody mute. So SAP HANA become the primary database. Okay, the primary database. So SAP HANA has become the primary database. Okay, so here what we do, store the data in memory. Then the next step, it depends on how much the actual installation took place. Then from here, where do we go? SAP BW. So this is the product level dependency. BPC cannot run without BW at the moment. Things might change, okay? So this is the product dependency. SAP BPC needs BW, okay? So this is product level dependency. Product level dependency. Otherwise, no role for BW, okay? I told many occasions to people, okay? So point is, the role of BW may going to diminish. I don't want to go beyond. There are other people in the class. I'm sure they know more than me. The role of BW, I'm not seeing in a longer run, okay? So here we are coming into BW. Why we need BW? BW is the product level dependency, okay? Product level dependency. All right. What is the next one? The next one is going to be your BPC. Okay, the next one is going to be BPC. So this is where we do planning, budgeting, forecasting. Okay, so this is where I do plan, budgeting, forecasting. So this is the application. Okay, this is the application. So what do I do here? Okay, this is an application. Here we do planning. Okay, here we do planning. Here we do budgeting. Here we do forecasting. Okay, and here we do financial close. Okay, financial close. So to do that, I need an application. So this is going to be the application. Okay, this is going to be the application. So this is the application, it's going to be performed. So based on this application, okay, based on this, okay, if you are for Skype, contact Harry. Okay, sorry, somebody saying, okay, note for Skype. Yeah, so he's calling now. Okay, good. All right, so now what we understood, okay, so this is the application where I'm going to build this kind of solution. So what am I going to get out here? So I'm going to get out reports, okay, which is going to be measurable for business to realize where they're doing. So what kind of financial report I'm create? Outcome of this one, okay. So this is going to help you create financial report. So what kind of financial report? Okay, so it could be P&L, it could be cash flow, it could be P&L report, it could be cash flow report, or it could be balance sheet report. Okay, it could be balance sheet report. So to implement these kind of solution, what you need all these different components working together. Okay, when I say all the different components are working together, what I meant is all these various architectural pieces. So that is why whether you wanted to build BI, EPM, EIM, whatever it is, right, there are certain functions we have to understand. Now, if you look at, my goal is to implement only the revenue planning or a cost planning or a financial close, okay, or it could be some other functions within the planning side. So regardless of whatever you are going to implement, you need actual. Okay, you need actual. Without actuals, we cannot do anything. Okay, without actuals, we cannot do anything. So how do we get an actual? I have to go to the source system. How do we go to the source system? Then I need to know more about the source system. So that is why I told it's up to you how much you are going to spend based on your comfort level. You have to really understand each one of those. Okay, you have to really understand each one of those. So in order for us to implement a simple EPM solution, so what I have to basically know all these components. If I know BW well, then we can skip them. You don't need to study more about it. If I know HANA very well, then I don't need to study very well. If I know ECC well, then you can skip them. But ultimately, you need to realize to do anything, all the pieces should work together. Okay? The other important point I would say, make sure you are very clear on the interface. Okay? Make sure you are very clear on the interface. Okay? Most important note. Make sure, okay, you are very clear. Okay? You are very clear. Okay? Very clear on the interface. Very clear on the interface. How each one of them is going to interface. If it is not, it's not going to add value. Again, I'm going to repeat. You may think I'm a functional consultant. You may think I'm more focused on functional. It doesn't matter whether you are a functional or a technical. If you don't add value, okay, if you don't add value to business, for me, it's not about like, whether functional or technical. We have to add value to business. To add value to business, absolutely, you should know all of these things very well. Okay, so my point was, where do we focus? Okay, so that's one of the things. What to learn, what we learn, where to focus. Okay, what we learn, where to focus. So this is what you need to focus on, and this is where you need to. So this is the area that we need to focus on. Okay, this is the area that we need to focus on actually. Okay, all right. So now let's take a look at if we want to build a BI solution. Okay, let's assume if you want to learn a BI solution. So this is my BI solution. Okay, so I'm not building an EPM solution. I'm building a BI solution. So what do we want to implement in the BI side? Let's say I'm implementing supply chain analytics. Okay, supply chain analytics. I want to implement supply chain analytics. Okay, I want to implement supply chain analytics. So what kind of analytics that I do? Let's assume I want to implement vendor performance. Okay, let's assume I want to implement vendor performance. Okay, vendor performance. So I want to implement vendor performance. Okay, so I'm trying to implement a BI solution. So what is that I'm trying to implement? I'm trying to implement a vendor performance. Okay, supply chain analytics, vendor performance. So what does that mean? I'm trying to create a vendor performance scorecard. Okay, vendor performance scorecard. Okay, vendor performance scorecard. Okay, so vendor performance scorecard. I want to create a vendor performance scorecard. So in the previous case, we talked about planning. So now we are talking about a BI solution. Now we are talking about a BI solution. So the BI solution, it's primarily for supply chain. It could be anything. It could be anything. But I just wanted to make sure you understand how this is working. Okay? You understand how this is working. So goal is supply chain analytics. Within supply chain, what we are doing, vendor performance. What is the expected output? Vendor performance scorecard or a dashboard. Okay? Or a dashboard. So I want to create a dashboard. So how do we create this one? What do I need? I need a technology. So what technology we are going to use in this case? We are going to use in this case SAP Business Objects. Okay, we are going to use SAP Business Objects. All right. So in order for me to understand what vendors are doing and how they are performing, I need an actual. Okay. So this is a source for actual. Okay. I can go to ECC and get all the vendor information. Okay. So I can get vendor master. Okay. I can get vendor master. How the vendors are performing. Okay, I can go to ECC, get the vendor master information, and what else I can see. So this includes vendor master and also vendor information. And the vendor information, this includes billing, invoices, contract. Okay, I will get billing, I will get invoices, I will get contract, and etc. Whatever the way I wanted to bring. Right? So everything that is required to understand the vendor performance, I'm going to get this one. And of course, this is the primary database. Okay, this is the primary database. Do I really need BW? You may or may not need. Okay, you may or may not need. It depends on what role BW is playing. Okay, what role BW is playing. So let's assume BW, it's not really like, has more value. Okay, so that means what? I can directly connect. Okay, I can directly connect using business objects. Okay, using various components. So this could be another SAP business object component. Okay, example universe. I'm just using here. I'm not saying this is how it should be. Then SAP other tools such as Design Studio. Okay, Design Studio or Dashboard Designer. Okay, or Dashboard Designer. Okay, Dashboard Designer. So you can use these kind of tools. So where BW will come into picture? Total cost of ownership. Okay, total cost of ownership. So what does this mean? If you already have, okay, if you already have information about a vendor, you can leverage. If you already have, okay, if you already have information about a vendor, okay, if you already have information about a vendor and you want to leverage this one, so this is for total cost of ownership. Okay, it is not a product level dependency. In this case, this is not a product level dependency. This is for total cost of ownership. Okay, so if I wanted to leverage an existing vendor information, then I could take from here and use it. Okay, I could take from here and use it. So this is based on if the company is already is using vendor information BW, then how do we leverage this one? 99.9% all SAP customers may have in some capacity BW. Okay, 99.9% all of the SAP customers. Okay, all of the SAP customers are using SAP BW in some capacity. Okay, some capacity. So we need to know. Okay, we need to know how to leverage this. Okay, we need to know how to leverage this. Okay, how to leverage this. So how to leverage this platform? Okay, how to leverage this platform. So when you go to the client, I'm very confident may have been using BW. So from that perspective, we should know how do we leverage if the client is already using BW. So this is how you see your EPM solutions. This is how you see the BI solution. So let's look at a real example. Okay, so I'm going to log into BC. Okay, so we have both 10.1 and also the 10.0. So this is the 10.1. This is the 10.1 version. I also have 10.0 version. The solution is still in the 10.0. So I'm just going to go to the solution side. So 1 second. Like for example, okay, 1 second, it's still coming up. So what you looked at, okay, so this just basically like, a PowerPoint. How do we see this in the real world? In the real world, like for example, this is basically tells you a closed process workflow. Okay, this tells you a closed process workflow. Like behind the scene, what are the things involved, correct? So behind the scenes, like remember I was talking about loading the GL data. How do we bring GL data? Okay, what is involved? And other steps that is in the process of data access, correct? So this is basically a solution built on based on the PowerPoint what I told you here. So it has connection to ECC, it has connected to HANA, it is connected to BW, and it is BPC. It creates all those financial reports. Okay, so this is the post-consolidation. You could see consolidated P&L, consolidated cash flow, consolidated balance sheet. Right? So this is an end-to-end solution which will allow you to understand how to use, hold on, okay, how to use all these different things. Let me mute this. Okay, yes, it's done. So point is, we will learn this process, but I just wanted to let you know to build something like this, okay, to build something like this, we need to understand every piece that is involved to build this one. Like I said, my ultimate goal is what? I want to create a balance sheet. I want to create a cash flow. Okay. My ultimate goal is what? I want to create a balance sheet and I want to create a cash flow. So to create a balance sheet and cash flow, I have to go through the entire step that is involved. So this is just a simple close process for you to understand how it is involved. Behind the scene, all these things commands are working. So this is your BPC. Then this is linked to BW. So now when I go to BW, I can see BW. Okay, I can see BW. So this is going to be my BW. Okay, when I log into BW, you can see all the model. So how this is built in? So this is built in based on a model. Okay, this is built in based on a model. Now let's go back to start and go to an administration. You don't need to worry about what I'm doing. I'm just trying to demonstrate visually how these are all working together. Okay, so I'm just going to go to a model. Under the model, you see consolidation. That's the model. Where do we see the actual physical model for this one? Then I'm going to BW. Okay, so I'm going to go to BW. So when I go to BW, hopefully I know my password. Hold on. So when I go to BW, here I can see, okay, all the model that has been lit. Okay, so this is basically the model behind the scene creator. So I should know how do we link this one. Okay, so for example, when I go to planning and consolidation, one second. So I need to look for the business planning and consolidation. So business planning and consolidation, that's BPC. When I expand, I can see all of those. When I go to my consolidation solution, this is the consolidation model is being used. Okay? So here we could see consolidation. Here we can interest matching, ownership planning rates. So now when I go here, I can see the same thing. Okay, I can see the same thing. So that means what? These are all interconnected to each other. From here, I should know how to go here. Then I should know how to go to HANA. So when I go to HANA, then I can connect this guy. So how do we launch HANA? Go to Studio. Okay, go to Studio. So when I go to Studio, it's not that easy. You need to locate this one. You have to go table by table and then figure this out. So point is, I really need to know the interface, how these are working together. Okay, the interface, how these are working together. So if I don't understand all of those, then it's going to be a problem. Okay, then it's going to be a problem. So we will cover this, but I just wanted to make sure you understand. Even though your goal is creating a consolidated cash flow, P&L, cash balance sheet, but still you need to understand this flow. So why this is coming into picture, this is what you are going to learn. And this goes back to how much time I should spend, where do I spend, it all depends on your comfort level. But based on what I know, I'm telling you this is what it is. Okay, based on what I know, this is what it is. All right, now let's take a look at a BI solution. So I'm just going to open a BI solution so that you understand how this works. Okay, so this is basically the BI solution. That's what we have. So it's already in the website. You can see it. 1 second. So now I wanted to look at some of my BI solutions. Give me 1 minute. The page is still loading. Now let's say I want to go and look at the product demo. Okay. For example, I want to look at my financials. Okay, I want to look at my financials. This is my financial performance scorecard. And this is my financial performance scorecard. Okay, 1 second. It's still coming up. So just to learn a tool, I don't think that we need to spend too much time. If you truly want to build a solution, okay, if you truly wanted to build a solution, then we need to understand really very well every piece that is involved. And that is what industry expects from you when you go through, an real implementation. The tool is good, but it's not going to really solve the business issues. It helps you to better understand how the tool works. Okay, but when you go over client, the client will simply say, I want a consolidated balance sheet. I want a consolidated P&L. I want a consolidated cash flow. They don't tell about tools, what tool it is, all of those. Okay? It's up to us to figure this out. From here to here, what is the transformation. So you should go and talk to the client and confidently that you know how to help them to design and deploy this one. Like, 1 second, it's still coming up. So for example, so this is the dashboard. It appears a dashboard, but it has a lot more functions built in. So what it tells you, it gives an executive view for an executive to understand where they stand in their financials. They can look at by region, by product, by customer, by market. It's interactive, it's real time. Keep in mind, it's real time. All right. Now I'm going to revenue scenario analysis. Okay? Scenario-based analysis. What I'm talking about. So my goal is what? I want to increase my revenue. How do I increase my revenue? Through net sale. Where do you stand your net sale? You can look at your net sale. What is the plan? What's the actual? How much you plan? How much the actual? You can change your drivers. Now you could see. I'm more interested to focus on cost of goods sold. You could see. I'm interested on operating expenses. I could see. So I'm going to go back to net sale. I don't want to see monthly. I want to look at quarterly view. Okay. I can look at the quarterly view. All right. So I'm looking at cost of goods sold. How does it look? Okay. So I'm going back to monthly. So behind the scene, what we have, there's a logic built in. Okay. Logic built in. So this tells you what is the net sale. Now, I understand where I stand in my net sale, how much I plan, what's an actual. I want to create a scenarios. If my net sale goes down, okay, if my net sale goes down, what is the impact? Okay, if my net sale goes up, what is the impact? You could see them. Okay, it tells you the impact of your sales is going up. So you could create, if I'm going to lose 5% of my net sale, what is the impact on this one? All right, I'm going to cut down my cost of goods sold. My cost of goods sold is too much. I'm going to cut down this one. Then you could see instantaneously what is the impact on this one. All right. So now I also wanted to basically simulate my P&L. I want to simulate my P&L. Okay. So how do we simulate my P&L? You can take a line item in the P&L. What's your gross sales? What's your gross profit? What's your net income? All the things. This is just a sample. You can add anything. For example, if my sales goes up, okay, then what is gross profit I'm going to get? Okay, what is the gross profit I'm going to get? So I want to build something like this, and this is what I call the BI solution. Okay, I'm just calling it an event performance. I do have event performance. I don't know where it is. I have to locate, but I'm just going to give you an example. Okay, so in this particular solution, okay, what are the various components involved? Okay, what are the various components involved? In this case, take an example of this guy, okay? Then I'm going for a cost allocation. How much cost I'm going to allocate, okay? So these are the cost allocation, okay? Unit cost, number cost. So basically what it tells you, if I'm going to allocate this much cost, what is my total unit, right? How much unit I'm going to sell? And what is the expected sales here, okay? What is the gross margin, right? You're not going to allocate cost randomly. So based on your cost allocation, you are calculating the unit cost and that's gross margin. Okay, you are calculating your unit cost and unit sales and then the gross margin. So these are all very deep analytics. Okay, very deep analytics. So these analytics, something that you could build by using BI solutions. Okay, by using BI solution, I can build this kind of analytics, and this analytics includes components around this area. Okay. So here, if you notice, I'm using many different tools. What is the front end for to build this thing? So this is built on Dashboard Designer, and some of them are done with the Design Studio. How does this connect? So this connected to the actual data by using Universe. Okay, so when I go to Universe, that's what is connected to this one. So the next piece, which is going to let you the data, is Universe. Do we use BW? Yes, because some of the information already in BW, we don't want to. If you see here, this brings the plan data. Okay, if you see here. So I have plan and actual. The actuals are from ECC. The plan is from BPC. Okay. So in this case, correct, what I'm talking about, net sales. So the net sales, you have plan and actual. You see this one? There's the plan and actual. So how do we get the plan data? The plan data is BPC. Since it's BPC, then I need to use BW. Okay. Then I need to use BW. So it depends on how deep you want to build a solution. So based on that, various different components used. But the bottom line, right? So you do need to understand all the moving pieces which is required to build a solution. If you just focus on only the front end, I'm absolutely confident it's not going to make any difference at all. Okay? You can build dashboards, you can build all other things in the front end level, but you have no idea how the end-to-end piece working. Okay, so how the end-to-end piece working. So this is what I really wanted to make sure you understand what we are going to learn, where to focus on. Okay, what we are going to learn, where to focus on. All right, so this is really important. I hope this helps you to understand. So what you are going to learn, this is what you are going to learn. And where do you need to focus? This is where you need to focus. Okay, that means the time that needs to be spent. The time that needs to be spent. Why do we need to spend? To build a solution, you need to have all the moving parts working together. Like I said, the interface is critical. If you don't understand, you can talk, okay? But you don't have value in front of a client. You don't have value in front of your team members. You can just talk about something, but that's not going to help for someone to understand how these are working together. So nowadays, okay, this is not about sitting and creating cost center, company code, business unit, profit center. It is very complex. Okay, it's very complex. So to deal this kind of complex solution, to build this kind of complex solution, we do have to have certain level of understanding on each of those areas. So based on that, I came up with this distribution. This again going back to your comfort zone and your way of looking at this. Based on that, you could redefine these numbers, but you have to spend time in each of these areas. All right. So now industry is talking about big data and data sciences. What does that mean? Okay, industry is talking about big data and data sciences. I'm sure a lot of you heard this one. In case if you have not, then you should really spend some time on this one. Whether you are focusing on EPM, whether you are focusing on BI, it doesn't matter. Big data has a role to play in everywhere. Okay, big data has a role to play in everywhere. So even for BPC, people are considering using big data for planning. Okay, so people are considering for using planning side actually. So what we are trying to understand, what is big data, what is data sciences, what does that mean to us? Okay, so big data, okay, big data, people talk about big data and data sciences. Okay, data sciences. Like I said, very much most of the people in the class knows about it. Okay, most of the people knows about it. So let's take a traditional way of looking at it. Okay, so what we do here. So we create a table and store data. Okay, so like for example, in a traditional transactional system, let's say I have a table, okay, customer table. Okay, I have a customer table. So this is my customer ID, and this is the customer name, and this is the customer address. Okay, and this is the customer address. This is the customer phone. So I can say customer owner 1. This is John. Address 123 whatever. So phone number 456, something like this. 102 Mike. Okay. Phone number 34 whatever address 567. Okay. So you store this one. So this is traditional approach. Okay. This is traditional way of storing data. Okay. This is traditional way of storing data. So now look at how things are changing. Okay. This is storing data in a relational database or in a queue. Okay, storing data in a ERD model or an MDM model. Okay, ERD entity relationship, MDM queues. So this is table approach. Okay, this is table approach. So this is cube approach. Okay, this is cube approach. You can store the data either in a table or in a queue. Okay, you can store the data either in a table. So this is traditional. Okay, this is traditional. Now what people are doing? Okay, now what people are doing? The same customers. Okay, now what people are doing? So they are not using tables. Okay, they are writing the way they like. Okay, now take example: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any forum. Okay, so the same customer. So this is the customer information. Okay, so you can see here. So what is this? This is customer information. Okay, this is customer info. Okay, customer information. This is customer information. Okay, so this is the customer information. You already have it in this one. Okay, this is the customer information. Now you take. Okay, now what people are doing? They are using Facebook. Okay, they are using Facebook. And what is this? Twitter. Okay, this is the Twitter. Okay, I'm using Twitter. Next is what? LinkedIn. Okay, so next is what? LinkedIn. People are using LinkedIn or any forum or a blog, whatever. Right? So this is on LinkedIn. So if you see here, this is basically the approach different than the traditional approach. Okay, So here what it is, no table, no structure, no format, okay, no table, no structure, okay, and this one has no table, okay, and this one has no table, okay, there is no table here, okay, we are not storing anything on the table, so we are not storing at the table, alright, no structure, okay, that means no model, okay, no model, very important to note, that's why I wrote ERD model, that is a technique that you are using to define the models, okay, a technique that is you are using to define the model, this is your ERD model, so this is your MTM model, that means it has a structure, so that means, so this has some structure, okay, this has some structure, okay, this has a structure, okay, this has a structure, so this has a structure, okay, this has a structure, okay, this has a structure, here no structure, no model at all, no control, okay, no control, okay, no control on what to store, okay, what to store. So people can store images, people can store videos, people can store whatever it is, right? So they're storing everything, okay? It depends on what apps it supports, it stores everything. So what to store, no control on what to store. Growth, okay? So how much is growing? No idea. It could be 100B, 200B, etc. So point is, now industry is leading towards in a different way of storing and processing data, okay? Storing and processing data. So this is something growing very rapidly, okay, growing very rapidly. So the traditional way of creating tables, storing stuff may or may not even exist down the line. We don't know how this is going to turn into, okay? We don't know how this is going to turn into. So that is the driving factor for big data, okay? That's the driving factor for big data. So now if you see here, okay, so this is basically the traditional approaches. You have a customer information, and that customer information is stored in a table, and then you can go and retrieve and do stuff. Now if you look at Facebook, you have what? Hundreds of customers. Here you have customers. So here also you have customers, okay? In Facebook also you have customers, correct? In Facebook also customer. In Twitter also you have customers, okay? In LinkedIn also customer, okay? In LinkedIn also customer, okay? In LinkedIn also customer. So if you look at this, you have customer in both the places. In the traditional way, you have customer information, which is model, stored in model. And here, you have a customer, no model, no structure, no control on the data, format. So how do we store and retrieve? No control. So this is something growing very rapidly. People are talking about more into about this one. So in this case, what we are talking about, correct? We are talking about something that not done this before. Okay. So what does this tell you? Okay, what does this tell you? I'm sure you have seen this definition in many places. In case if it is not, I don't want to repeat this. I'm sure people talk about when they say big data, three things. Okay. So number one, volume. Number two, the format. Number three, the speed. Okay. Number three, the speed. In the speed in which it is created. So this is what the fundamental definition around big data, okay? So volume, the amount of data that you create. Speed, how fast the data is growing, okay? The speed is how fast the data is growing. The next is what? Format. It is not something that a predefined format where we can do. When you combine all, that is what the definition for a big data. Next, for the first one is volume. So how much data, right, can I control when people go and write in Facebook, or you write only 10 words, you write 20 words, right? You can do anything. Next is what? Speed, okay? The speed, how fast it's growing, okay? How fast it's growing. The next is what? Okay, format, okay? Next is what? Format. So what does this mean? So this is data volume. So this is the data growth speed, okay? This is what? Data volume, okay? This is data volume. So this is basically the size, okay? Data volume or a size, okay? Number of records or number of rows, whatever you call, correct? So this is the size, okay? This is the size. So this is a data volume. This is the data size, all right? Next is what? So this is going to be the speed, okay? So the frequency on which, okay? The frequency, okay? Frequency on which data created, okay? So people could go to Facebook at any time, okay? We cannot control this. So they can go every 1 hour, they can go every 2 hours, they can go every 3 hours, correct? Or every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. It's up to them. This is what data format. Okay, data format. Okay, this is what data format. So this is the data format. Okay, the data format. Okay, the data format. So if you look at the traditional way and look at the new way, so this is something growing very fast based on how industry is looking at. Okay, so when people talk about big data, why they're calling it big data? Because the size, the volume, and the speed. Okay, and this is the size and the volume and the speed. So this is the definition of big data. So this is also coming up very fast. Okay, so this is data. Okay, the data size. Okay, so how big this is, and this is data growth speed. Okay, growth rate. Okay, data growth rate. How fast it's growing. Okay, how fast it's growing, and this is data format. Okay, data format. Okay, data format. Okay, data format. So it could be like a text. It could be like videos. It could be voice. It could be images. Who knows? Whatever it is. So when I combine all, okay, when I combine all, so this becomes absolutely incredible. So we cannot even measure these things, correct? So that's why it is called big data. Okay, so we can measure this. How much is going to grow? Can anyone measure how much Facebook is going to grow? No. So how do we support? How do we deal with this one? So this is what big data. Since we cannot measure, we cannot control, it's going to go by itself. So we have to have a platform, a technological platform, which is going to support this one, and that is what big data all about. Okay. So no control on your data size, no control on data growth rate, no control on data format. You can store any data, you can store any format, and you can store at any time as needed. So this is basically why it is called big data. Okay, it is big. Since we don't know what the heck this is going to be. Okay, so why it is big data? Okay, why it is called big data? So why it's called big data? Okay, why it's called big data? Why it is called big data? We have no control on data size. Okay, no control. Okay, no control on data size. No control on data growth. Okay, data growth rate. No control. Okay, no control. Okay, no control on data format. Okay, format. So for example, this one data size could be today could be 100. Okay, today could be 100 GB. Tomorrow could be tomorrow 1000. Okay, tomorrow could be 1000. Tomorrow could be 1000 GB. Do we have any idea? No idea on the growth. No idea on the size. Okay, no idea on the size. Okay, no idea on the size. Okay, so no idea on the size. Okay, no idea on the size. So this is something that nobody have any control. Okay, nobody have any control. Since nobody have any control, then we need a platform. Okay, we need a platform. So we need a platform to support this one. So this is why it's called big data. What industry is looking for? Industry is looking for. Okay, industry. Okay, industry is looking for a technical platform, like technical platform to support this. Okay, to support this. Correct. If it's a table, I know what it is. If it's something that within my business, I know what it is. Okay, if it's a table, I know what it is. If it's something within my business, I know what it is. And this all goes beyond nobody's control. So what kind of technical platform that is being used to support this one? So this is where SAP HANA comes into the picture. Okay, SAP HANA is a big data platform. Hadoop is a big data platform. Okay, Hadoop is a big data platform. Okay, so this is when it comes into Hadoop is a big data platform. So now taking these kind of data sets, building intelligence, using analytics, correct, and figuring out all the things that whatever happens inside is the idea behind the scene of SAP HANA. So SAP HANA primarily meant for dealing with these kind of large data sets to process a massive amount of data in real time and build intelligence, correct? So you have data size and the data growth rate or frequency. Okay, I would call frequency. That's right. It's a speed. So this is the frequency. Okay, this is the frequency. So I'm talking about data frequency. Next is data format. Data format, it could be voice, it could be text, it could be video, whatever it is. Okay, so format could be, so this could be a text. Okay, this could be a text, or it could be a voice, or it could be a video, or it could be an image, who knows what it is, right? So how do we deal these things? And what do we need to, what kind of technology we need? So that is what HANA does. Okay, that is what HANA does. So what kind of technology we need to deal these kind of platforms, complex issues? So which is going to be SAP HANA and Hadoop. I know there's a lot of people talk about Hadoop and all, correct? Truly speaking, and I'm very confident, right? It's absolutely bullshit, right? So people need to understand how do we take these kind of complex issues and use Hadoop platform. So what I found, a lot of technical developers, correct, who know how to deal with Hadoop in terms of technological implementation. But building a real solution using Hadoop kind of platform or using Hadoop kind of platform to add a real business value, very few, only very few. So if we could focus on learn HANA really very well, correct? Learn, understand HANA very well, and build this kind of solution, this is going to be absolutely next 5-10 years going to be one of the hardest area to be in, okay? Big data. As I said, it's not easy. No matter how good you are, what you have done, you can say, I know this and that and all. I've been working in industry for 20 years. Doesn't matter what it is. So it's new for all of us. Okay, it's new for all of us, correct? Like I said, you have no control. If it's a table, you know what it is. I can store a text, I can store whatever it is. Then how do we pull all the things together? Okay. So this is basically what I wanted to talk about, big data. Understand the concept behind the scene, correct? So what is involved when we talk HANA? HANA primarily deals for storing massive amount of data in real time. Okay. So HANA is a big data platform. Okay, HANA is a big data platform, storing and processing a large amount of data sets in memory on real time. Okay. So SAP HANA is a big data platform. Okay. It's a big data platform from SAP America or SAP whatever, okay, SAP. It allows us to store, okay, allows us to store massive amount of data, okay, massive amount of data in real time, okay, in using in-memory technology, in-memory computing, okay, in-memory computing. So I'm not going to spend time on Hadoop. Hadoop is the open source platform, okay. Hadoop is the open source platform. So the people who know how to connect these two, I would say they are real genius. Okay, they are real genius. So the next platform that what we are talking about, Hadoop. Okay, Hadoop. So this is an open source. Okay, it's an open source. Okay, it's an open source. So I'm sure you understand what is involved. So I'm not going to spend too much time right now for Hadoop. Maybe later we'll talk about it. So this is an open source. Okay, this is an open source. So this also allows us to store massive amount of data in real time. It also supports in-memory computing. Okay, so this is an open source, but this also allows us to support massive amount of to be stored and processed. There are many components. I'm in the process of publishing an article. I have not done it, and most likely this will be done in a day or two. Okay, so I'm going to publish an article which is not fully done. Okay, so that's something that I'm going to publish. You will have more access. So like I said, my approach is not learning the tool. How do we build a Hadoop solution? What is the core component that is involved? What's the architecture that is involved? And so on and so forth. And so I'm in the process of compiling this and publishing. Not fully done, you will have. You'll also see some use cases, correct? What kind of use case I can build just on Hadoop, okay? Just on Hadoop. So this is something you will get to know soon, but at that point you will know more. As of now, I'm not going to spend more time, but I wanted to make sure you understand when people talk about big data, right? This is what it is. You have no control on the size, you have no control on the frequency on which the data is going, and you have no control on the format. When I don't have any control on this one, then I need a platform to store this one. So what kind of platform supports this one? HANA supports this one. Hadoop supports this one. So HANA is not just regular traditional BI kind of platform. It's more than traditional BI. It's more than traditional BI. So what we really need, how do we connect these two? That is the core skill. Okay. So that is the core skill. So what you really need, how do you connect these two? And like I said, there are many people who talk about Hadoop. Okay, it's good. I have no complaint, no question. But where the true value is going to come, how do you interface these two? Okay, you have HANA, which is more enterprise oriented, versus Hadoop, it's an open source. How do you connect these two? So there's a massive amount of need, massive amount of need. There will be massive, okay, amount of resource needs, okay, resource needs in this space, okay, in this space means people who understand, okay, who understand, okay, who understand. So people who understand, okay, people who understand these technologies well, people who understand. So these solutions, okay, these solutions well, okay, so has huge potential, okay, people. There will be a massive amount of resource needs in this space. That means connecting, when I say in this space, interfacing, okay, interfacing, okay, interfacing SAP HANA and Hadoop, okay, SAP HANA and Hadoop. So there will be a massive amount of resource needs, people who understand SAP HANA and Hadoop. People who understand these solutions well are very high in demand. I would say most highly paid people, okay. Solutions, people who understand these solutions well are the people, okay, who's very highly paid in industry, very highly paid in industry, okay, in industry. So this is basically something I wanted to make sure to set your focus on. It's not rocket science, okay? It's rocket science. All it requires dedication. All it requires commitment, okay? So it's a massive need. People who understand how do you pull this one. What does this mean? Just an example, okay? So, I can open this one, show you. Let me see if I can able to see this one. I'm hoping this is there, okay? Hold on. I can show you the real thing that is done for this. Okay, hold on. Under normal POC. Hopefully this is going to work. Yes, it is working now. Hold on a second. It's coming. So this is a real use case. It's a real use case. 1 second. So just a second. How do you connect these technologies together? It's still loading, almost done. All right, this is for a client. It was done. See on the top, data sources. You can read from Facebook. You can read from Twitter. Okay. So this is from Facebook. This is from Twitter. So based on your feed, okay, based on your source, it's a real time. So this tells you, okay, and this is for a given product, okay, for a specific product. This tells you what is the sentiment breakdown, okay, and what kind of phrases that people are using, and what kind of demographic, okay, and next is what. So this is a customer feedback. So what the customers are talking about, top phrases that are used, okay, and this is basically tells you, I like it, I don't like it, and all of those. And this is basically, how do we predict based on the sales? Okay, so based on this, I want to predict sales. Okay, based on this, I want to predict sales. So this is based on visit, number of products. So how many visits people are making? So based on that, I can see. So this is multiple channels, desktop, okay, extra. So how do we build these kind of analytics? So this is, like I said, combination of both HANA and Hadoop. So this uses combination of HANA and Hadoop. So people who understand, okay, how to build. So this is your, if you look at here, what you need, this is your core ERP. Okay, this is your core ERP. So this includes sales, this includes finance, this includes supply chain, okay, okay, etc. Okay, so I have sales, I have finance, I have supply chain. So what is this? So this is your core ERP. This is your core ERP, and this ERP is reflected in SAP HANA. This is SAP HANA. Alright, so this is the SAP HANA. So now you also have other side of the information, which is nothing but this is your Facebook, okay, Twitter, LinkedIn. So here we are talking about customers. Here we are talking about customers, their feedback, okay, their feedback, etc. So now how do we pull this one? This is Hadoop, okay, this is Hadoop. So now we need to move the data, okay. So what we did actually, so we took all this information and then moved into HANA. HANA is the primary platform, okay. So from here, we have moved everything into HANA. On top of HANA, we use different tools. So we use different tools such as R library, okay, R programming, okay, to do all this one. Then on top of this one, okay, on top of this one, we use Design Studio, okay, we use Design Studio or Dashboard Designer, okay, Dashboard Designer, okay, Designer. So we use Dashboard Designer to build this intelligence. So building a solution like this, it's not easy, okay, building a solution like this, it's not easy. So this is what I was talking about. People who understand building these kind of complex solutions are very high in demand. So from here, what we are looking at, so this is what we are getting, okay? So this is the one, what you looked at now. So what this tells you, this gives you predictive analytics, sales prediction, okay, sales prediction. So this is sales prediction. I'm predicting how much sales I'm going to get, okay? I'm predicting how much sales I'm going to get. Target customers, I'm predicting about target customers. Target customers, okay, target customers, okay? Target customers, I'm predicting for target customers. So this is what big data solution all about. Okay, this is what we call. So this is called, okay, this is called a big data solution. A big data solution, big data solutions. So what I'm calling this, it's a big data solution. Okay, so what you're looking at here, it's basically a big data solution. I'm trying to predict the sales, correct? So how do we predict the sales? So prediction sales based on the people that who's visiting a store, based on the product that is being viewed. So based on that, I can tell monthly prediction, okay, how much revenue I'm going to get, how much the order I'm going to place, and what is the monthly per unit sold, okay? So these are all something that I can calculate. So you can select a product and based on the product you see. So point is, how do we know all of those? It has an impact based on the feedback. Who's giving what feedback, okay, who's giving what feedback. So for example, okay, so now when I go to one of those one, so this is also based on that kind of analytics. Okay, this is also based on that kind of analytics. 1 second, it's still coming up. So I'm just going back what I said actually, okay? So people who understand building these kind of complex solutions are very high in demand, okay? Very high in demand. So this is what I call big data solution. So here what we're talking about, taking your sales, taking your finance and supply chain, connecting back to LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and building a solution, and then trying to give an user much more in-depth business insights than traditional way of creating reports. Okay, I'm telling based on the feedback what you're getting, based on the comments what people are making, so your sales is going to go down, and this is the target customer you should focus on. So it could be Asians, it could be white, it could be black, or whoever it is. So those are the target customers you should look for. Okay. So creating these kind of analytics, industry never done this before, and this is what most likely, okay, it's going to survive for next 5-10 years. Okay, minimum for next 5-10 years. So this is the kind of technology it's going to be. So my point is, if you are really serious on your career, on your growth rates, okay, so whatever you want to learn and grow, so make sure you understand these type of solutions so that it would be beneficial for you whenever you want to learn this one. Okay. So this is one of the topics. Keep your phone on mute. Hold on. All right. I'm going to keep everybody mute. So this is what I want to cover under the big data. Okay. When people talk about big data, I know this is something that you heard many times, but all you heard about, correct, big data. What exactly big data means, correct? So make sure you understand. You have no control on size. You have no control on the growth frequency, how fast it's going to grow, and you have no control on the format. You can store text, you can store voice, and you can store images. Now the question is, how do we take all such things and connect that to your other core transactions, correct? Connect back to another core transaction, build intelligence, correct? Either you're predicting sales prediction or a customer prediction, whatever that is, target customers. So if you are able to build something like this,
and that solution is going to be big data solution. Okay, so not just the word volume, variety, and velocity, correct? So that word is not going to help much. Okay, so that word is not going to help much. So when people talk about big data, make sure you understand. This is really growing very fast, and this is an area very high in demand. Like I said, people who understand how to interface these two, it's a massive amount of need for this one. They are very highly paid. Okay, they're very highly paid. So we just have to understand how do we build these things. Okay, both functionally, technically. It's not just only a technical solution. Then you will become useless, correct? So this needs both functional and technical skills. Like I said, if I am trying to connect, okay, a customer who's in Facebook, then I should know how to locate the same customer in SAP HANA. If a product is sold, then I wanted to know how the product has been talked in Twitter, LinkedIn. So I need to know both functionally, technically. Okay, you need to have both functional and technical skills to build this one. Okay, so note, you need to know. Okay, you need to know. Okay, you need to know both functional. Okay, both functional and technical skills. Okay, technical skills. Okay, I'm an EPM person. Do I care big data? Answer is yes. You should care for big data. Question is, does big data, okay, does big data is only for BI, okay, or for EPM, okay, or for EPM, or for EPM, okay, or for EPM, or for both, okay. So big data is for both, okay. Big data is for both. So big data is for both. Okay, big data is for both. Okay, is for both. So big data is required for both. It requires for planning, budgeting, and forecasting, and it also requires for BI. Okay, it also requires for BI. So using big data, we can build all kind of solutions. Okay, using big data, you can build all kind of solutions. So this is your big data. Okay, this is for SAP big data. I'm going to call SAP big data. Right? I cannot call for general big data. In SAP big data, using SAP big data, you can build EPM solutions. You can also build BI solutions. Okay, so using SAP big data, we can build. Okay, we can build planning, budgeting solutions. We can build SAP EPM solutions, such as planning, forecasting. Okay, planning and forecasting. Okay, planning and forecasting. So planning and forecasting. All right. So here, so this is using big data. Okay, we can build SAP BI solutions. Okay, so SAP BI solution. What is involved? It could be deep analytics. Okay, deep analytics. Okay, deep analytics, insights, etc. We can build this one. So the big data is not just only for BI, it's not only for EPM, it's for both. Okay, it's for both. So you have to understand this is something that really required both. So I would encourage you to spend some time, get more insights, right? So more insights. So big data is not about just Hadoop. Okay, many people talk about. Many people aren't telling you, correct? They can't. They will become a technical developers, correct? They don't have much value. Okay, so note big data. Okay, note. Okay, note big data. Okay, note big data, correct? So if you understand, so this is basically correct. So you need to know. Okay, so this is the tool that you could manage this one. I'm just trying to see if I am able to pull this one. Probably it's down now. Okay, hold on. Now I want to show the interface. Hadoop interface. I'm just trying to connect. It's not coming. Let's see. So going back here, big data. Okay. Big data is not only. It's not just. Okay. It's not just SAP. It's not either SAP. It's not just either SAP HANA. Okay. Either SAP HANA or Hadoop. Okay. Or Hadoop. So this involves. Okay. This involves many things. So big data involves. So we need to know SAP HANA, agreed, and we also need to know Hadoop, agreed. Okay. We also need to know Hadoop, agreed. We also need to know the problem. Okay. Business side, business. Okay. business challenges. Okay, we also need to know business challenges, and overall an integration. Okay, interface or integration. Okay, so on top of this, how do we interface all of those? Okay, integration, integrating. So integrating all of this. Okay, integrating all of this. So this is a kind of skill set what we need to deal with the big data. So if people simply say, I know big data, ask them what you know. Okay, ask them what you know. I'm very sure they know only some part of it. So when we deal with big data, so that involves all the different things. Okay, you need to know HANA, you need to know Hadoop, and you also need to know other challenges. And these are at a high level. Okay, these are all at a high level. So this is basically, I'm at a high level. I'm not even talking about analytics. Okay, I'm not even talking about analytics. All right. So this is what I really wanted to cover under big data. Okay, so I hope now you got more clarity. What is data sciences? Okay, what is data sciences? Okay, so now let's talking about data sciences. Okay, is reporting the data science? No, it's not. Is creating data extraction is the data science? No, it's not. Okay, so creating extracts. So data sciences. Okay, data sciences. Okay, data sciences. So that's reporting is a data science. Okay, that's reporting. Okay, reporting. That's data analysis. Okay, data analysis. Okay, is a data science. Is a data sciences? No, no. This is not report. This is not analysis. Okay, reporting is a data sciences. No. Okay, no. So that's not what it is. It's a data sciences. No. Okay. So it's not reporting, it's not data analysis, it's not a dashboard. Okay, this is not a dashboard. Okay, that's dashboard. Okay, that's dashboard. Okay, 1 second. It's a data analysis, data sciences. Okay, no, it's not. Okay, none of this. So this is not a data sciences. Okay, data sciences. So this is a different approach. Okay, this is a different approach. So what does that mean? So I'm sure you heard about many things like fraud detection. Okay, I'm looking for customers who consider me in a in a credit analysis. I'm analyzing people's credit profile. I'm looking for people's behavior and pattern. I found these people are something that I'm suspecting or fraud. Okay. So this is something that I'm suspecting is a fraud. So that type of intelligence I wanted to build. Okay, that type of intelligence I want to build. So that is basically not really reports, not really analysis, not really dashboard. So those are all real insights which is going to help business to proactively think and make a decision. Okay, so that is just an example. So what I want to do, I want to give this as an example. Or before that, I will show you. So this is something that we built. Okay. So for a product, this is my product. Okay. In the region, North America, I wanted to know how many people are coming to Twitter and what is the volume, what's the impression. Out of those people, how many male, how many female, and what is the social scorecard, and where they spread across, what they're talking about, positive, negative, neutral. So I can look for a different product, and then I can see. I can look for different regions, then I see. I can look for a different period, I can see. So this is not I'm presenting data. This is basically for a given product, for a given region, in a month, I'm trying to understand how many people are coming and going in Twitter, how many people are male or female, and what ethnicity, like white, male, Hispanic, and all of those, correct? And what kind of feedback they're giving. Okay, so what is the customer satisfaction here? So now I'm comparing this, okay? I'm comparing this with other products in the market space. So I have a bread, and who else making bread? These people are making bread. So I'm comparing this one. Then what's the customer segmentation? And I'm doing this deep insights, right? I'm telling here. So if you are going to continue to get positive feedback, and then what is the impact in terms of your volume? If you're going to get a critical feedback, what is going to be? and who's the people giving this kind of critical feedback. So how do I basically analyze this? So if you see here, I'm not creating report. This is a science. Getting to know insights on data. Okay, getting to know insights on data. There are many functions involved. Okay, there are many functions involved. So this is basically something that let you understand what is happening inside in the data. So that's why it's called. It's not a report. It's not data analysis. It's not a dashboard. Okay, no, it's beyond all. Okay, data sciences beyond all. It gives you true insights on data. Okay, extracting a technique that is used. Okay, data science is beyond all. Okay, beyond all of this. Okay, beyond all of this. This is a technique. Okay, this is a technique used to better. Okay, used to better understand the business insights, understand the insights on a data. Okay, on a data set, on a large data set. Okay, large data sets, large data sets. Okay, so the number one programming language, I would say, we could use to build data science or statistical computing. Okay, or it could be Python. Okay, so all kind of or type of so statistical programming or programming programming language could be used could be used on top of data to create data sciences, to create data science solution, data science solution, to create data science solution, data sciences. Okay, so we can use all kinds of programming languages. Okay, to create data sciences. Okay, to create data sciences. Okay, so for example, so you have it's always going to have multiple data sets. Okay, this is your SAP ECC. On top you have HANA, so we can use SAP HANA, and it could be BW. Okay, I'm just telling you how these are going to get created. It could be SAP BW. Then you have SAP BPC. Okay, on top of it you have SAP BPC. This is your SAP BPC. Okay, SAP BPC. So what is this? So this is where you have planning data. Okay, so what you have? So this is what you are having actually. Your planning information here. Okay, this will your planning information. Okay, your planning and forecasting. Okay, so planning and forecasting. Okay, your planning information. Let's assume I have my planning info. What is I'm planning for? Revenue. Okay, and volume. I'm planning for what? Revenue and volume. Revenue and volume. What is the revenue I'm going to generate? How many units I'm going to sell? Okay, so this is BPC. In BPC, you have a planning application which enables you to understand the revenue and volume planning. So this is one side of it. Okay. The other side, what you have other sources. So this is your Facebook. Okay, this is your Facebook. This is your Twitter. This is your LinkedIn. All right. So what is the next step? This is going to be Hadoop. Okay, this is going to be Hadoop. So from Hadoop, I'm going to use data services. Okay, Hadoop, I'm going to use data services. Okay, I'm going to use BOJ, data services. Okay, there could be many interfaces. I'm just throwing here. Okay, there could be many interfaces. So I'm just throwing here. So what I'm doing actually, I'm just going to basically bring this information. Okay, so then from there I might be taking it to wherever it is. Okay, so wherever it is. So I'm just going to create a file, Excel file. Okay, Excel file. So this is data services doing what? Data mapping, data conversion, whatever. Okay. So this is for data mapping. Okay, data mapping, transformation. Okay, transformation. I cannot use this data. This is a Twitter, Facebook data. I cannot use them. I want to map it. I want to transform this one. Okay. So then from there I'm going to create an Excel file. So what is the information I'm getting? Okay. So customer who's interested in my product. Customer who's interested in my product. Who's interested in my product. Okay. Interested in my product. Okay. Interested in my product. So the customer who's interested in my product. Okay. So this includes, what does includes? Customers. Okay. This includes, so customer details such as demography. Okay. customer details, product details. Okay, I have product details. I have customer detail. I have product details. Okay, customer details. I have product details. Then I have the location. Okay, location details. I have customer details. I have product details. I have location details. Okay, I have location details, where they are. Okay, location detail. So these are all something that, okay, hold on. Okay, I'm able to get it from Facebook. So I have a customer, I have a location, I have a product. So on the BPC, what you have? So on the BPC, when you talk about volume, when you talk about revenue, what you have? So you do have to have a product. You do have to have a customer. You do have to have a location. That's nothing but an entity, correct? So in BPC also, you have similar data sets, okay? In BPC also, you have similar data sets, correct? Now, if you see here, one end, you have information which is coming from, okay, your business operation. Other end, you're coming from here. I have customer, I have a product, I have a location. So I can determine my revenue based on a customer. I can determine revenue based on a product. I can determine this one. Location is nothing but it could be an entity. Okay, it could be an entity. So this could be an entity. So now on top of this, what I'm going to do, on top of this one, I'm going to use R programming. Okay, I'm going to use R. So what this is supposed to do, it's going to do forecasting. Okay, so using this one, R computing. Okay, R programming. Okay, R programming. So I'm going to use R programming. So this R programming is going to do what? It's going to let me do other things, such as I can build either forecast, I can do prediction. So now point is how these are all going to be used, okay, in the real industry world. So now one end I have a core SAP transaction. Other end I have completely outside, which is Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Now I wanted to build intelligence, okay, I want to build intelligence. So I'm using R programming. So this is going to lead what? This is going to give you forecast. So this is going to give you prediction. Okay. So those are all what we call data sciences. Okay. And top of this is going to give you what? Prediction. Okay. This is going to let you do prediction. Sales prediction. Okay. Sales volume prediction. Volume prediction. Okay. Sales volume prediction. And then forecast. Okay. And then the forecast. I can do a prediction and forecast. This is how I'm forecasting the sales for the next 12 months. Okay. For the next 12 months, now my test is going to be. So what do you call this one? Data sciences. What do you call this one? Data sciences. So this is not easy. My friends, this is not easy. So this is not something that like where you could say, I know how to deal this one. Okay. Even if people say I know deal this one, I know, I'm not sure how many. Hold on. Hold on a second. Keep your phone on mute. All right. So this is what I call data sciences. Okay, data sciences. So using large data sets. This is just an example. Data sciences. Keep in mind as an example. Okay, example. Okay, just an example. Just an example. So there could be many different things. So from business perspective, what business is interested? Yeah, volume, sales volume prediction, sales volume forecast. Correct? Sales volume forecast. Now see how we are doing, correct? How many different things involved. So in both the places, we are finding patterns. Okay, the commonality in SAP and the business transaction and non-business transactions are customer. And the customer is leading to what? Product. The product is leading to what? Location. So I have both. I'm taking those two and trying to predict and understand this one. Okay. So building this kind of solution is what data science is all about. Okay. So building this kind of solution is data science all about. So in a simple way, if you need to understand, it's beyond all of this. It's not a report. It's not a dashboard. It's not a data analysis. It's a technique. Okay. Used to better understand the insights on insights of a business. Insights of a business. Okay. Insights of a business or a specific. Okay, or a specific event, okay, or a specific occurrence, specific event, or an occurrence on a large data set, okay, on large data sets. So you could build data sciences based on predictive analytics, advanced analytics, etc., 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 okay. So this is what we have here. So based on customer feedback, based on customer sentiment, so this is based on customer feedback and customer sentiment, I'm trying to find out how much volume I'm going to sell, how much revenue I'm going to generate. If I'm going to get continuity positive feedback, okay, my volume is going to go. How did we calculate? average customer, average product, average sales, correct? This is one. In this case, if you see, this is built based on customer table, product table. These are all SAP tables, GL postings. So this is your customer table, this is your product table, this is your GL posting, and this is your Twitter feed. This is your Twitter feed. You take these two and build intelligence, and that's basically kind of a data science solution. Okay, so this is not easy, but this is doable. Okay, this is not easy, this is doable. All right, so this is basically what I wanted to cover for data sciences. Okay, I'm just going back. I hope this will help you to better understand where we're going to focus on. So our focus is going to be around this area. Okay, this is what we are going to learn. So this is whatever we discuss, our focus is going to be around this. Okay, our focus is going to be around this. So this is exactly where we are going to learn. So the next topic is going to be, before we stop, so this is what we're going to discuss now. So what we're going to discuss, timing. So timing is going to be, it's based on my schedule. I will let you know, okay, when the next week we have classes. So I still have my other batch to complete. So hopefully I should be able to complete by next week. But we will be having classes. Give me a day or two to send you all an email what timing is going to be. Okay. So give me a day or two. Okay, day or two to fix this. Okay, fix this exact timing. Okay, exact timing. But we are meeting next week. Okay, but we are meeting next week. Okay, meeting next week. Next weekend. So we will meet once in a week, at least for initial period. Then we'll move on to different frequency. Okay, initially, until you feel comfortable. Initially, or until you feel comfortable. Until you feel comfortable. Until you feel comfortable, we will meet. Okay, we will meet once in a week. Okay, once. So once in a week, then we figure out the remaining part. Okay, so until we feel comfortable, we'll meet once in a week. Then later on, we'll figure this out. Okay, later on, we'll figure this out. Systems, like I said, I just have to get you the access. So this is fully on the cloud model. Okay, hold on, it's disconnected. So like the one that I was using, you should be able to see this. Okay, hold on. So here, so either me or Hari. Okay, so you just keep it myself. So I will be the one will get you the system. Okay, will get you the system based on the confirmation from Hari. Based on the confirmation from Mr. Hari. So what do you get? You have SAP ECC, SAP HANA, SAP BPC, SAP BW, SAP BOBJ, and it also has a Hadoop. Okay, it also has a Hadoop. Like now, remember, I was trying to see, and I will restart this guy. So it also has a Hadoop. So these are all fully integrated system. You will have access to this. Okay, so these are all fully integrated system. You have access to this one. So under BOBJ, there are many components. Correct? Under BOBJ, you have data services. You have a universe. Okay, you have a universe. Okay, you have a universe. So all the components, correct, will be okay. Everything. So whatever we discuss, you will have this one. From support perspective, it's right now. Okay, so I have two more people to add. So Kamal, Manish, and me. So you may not know them, but we also know. Hold on a second. Okay, so they will be also involved. You will get to know them. So I will get you the contacts. Contacts, I will mail you all. Okay, I will mail you all. So this includes, I'm sure you have Hari contact. Jyoti, Kamal, Manish. Okay, so you have contacts for all of those people that I will take care. Okay, I'm going to mail you those contacts so that you could work on. So all the emails will be done before close the business tomorrow. Okay, all the email distribution. Okay, all this information, all this info will be given before the end of the day tomorrow. I will take care of this. I just have to talk to Hari, and I will take care of it. So this is very much what I have, and I'm sure you have a good idea on what you are trying to learn and where we are trying to get into. So that is very important. So this is what I had in my mind to discuss with you. You should understand what is it you're going to learn. You should also understand where to focus, how much time to spend, right? Everything. So I'm sure this gives a good overview. Keep in mind, we have not gone to any subject, correct? I just wanted to make sure people understand, correct, what are the various pieces involved and how do you work together, etc., etc. So one last point, there are some projects I started in my previous batch I wasn't able to complete, and I'm going to continue with this batch. So there are two projects that we started. So one is the BI side, it's a clinical trial, and then the EPM side, it's a planning solution. Okay, last project. I started with the last batch. I couldn't continue. It is almost done. It's coming to an end, but we have not completed yet. So I'm going to continue that project here too. Okay, class project. Like I said, I'm not a great fan of just learning the tool. It's good to learn from the actual project itself. So the class project that I started in the last batch, okay, so the BI team, okay, BI team, and then the EPM team, okay, so the BI team and the EPM team. So the BI team, it's more for the clinical trial, okay, clinical trial. So this is basically understanding, okay, one second. So understanding various aspects. So this is more for predictive analytics. This is more for predictive analytics, okay, predictive analytics, I would say. So this is the predictive analytics based on a clinical data, okay. So some of the people will be joining with you to do this work. So this is, we want to continue this one. I want to continue this one. So the BI team, the project is going to be the clinical trial. So it's a predictive analytics. You will know more, but I'm just letting you know. That's how I approach this, okay? So whatever I teach in the class, you should also apply. So this way, you learn how to build a true solution. And the EPM side, so this is for planning, revenue cost planning for a healthcare company. So this is revenue and cost planning, okay? Revenue and cost planning for a healthcare company, okay? For a healthcare company, okay? Healthcare company. So for a healthcare company, this is what it is, okay? This is what it is. So that is basically the expected scope for the EPM team. So this is planning and forecasting, and this is planning and forecasting, budget, okay? Planning, forecasting, and budgeting, okay? And budgeting. So part of this course, I would like to continue this, okay? So part of this course, we will be continuing this one, okay? Part of this course, we will be continuing this, okay? We will be continuing this, okay? So this is something I will let you all know, okay? So we already started, and we wanted to continue this one. All right, so that's very much what I have. If you have any questions, please ask me. So I'm sure, as I explained, so this really gives more insights, correct? So it's not just hearing the word big data. It's not about hearing the word data sciences. How do we build true data sciences, okay? How do we build a true data sciences, correct? So these are all true data science techniques, correct? These are all true data science techniques. Taking raw data from a Facebook, from a Twitter, and building intelligence, correct? This is the data science. This is the data science. And these are all true financial insights, correct? True financial insights. Who's my target customer? Okay. Who's my target customer? So if I'm trying to focus on what we looked at here, so we want to increase revenue. How do we increase revenue? Through net sale. Where's my net sale right now? This is where net sale. If my net sale goes down, what is the impact? If my net sale goes down, what is the impact? So how do we increase my net sales? Okay? I want to increase revenue. To increase revenue, I'm targeting net sale. How do we increase net sale? These are the key influencing customer. So this is my customer. So this is a customer whom I could focus for. That's for net sale. That's for cost of goods sold, other revenues, correct? So these are the customer I focus on. So building this type of intelligence, correct, is different than creating reports, creating dashboards, creating data analysis, correct? So this is something, okay. So this is unified, okay. So it's unified actually. All right. So anyway, I wanted to make sure you are clear, you are able to understand what exactly you will be learning. So you will be learning building solutions, not a tool. Building solutions, not a tool. So on the BPC, it will be unified. Okay? On the BPC, it's on the unified version. All right. If you have any question, ask me or post your question in the chat window. I'll try to respond. I have 5 more minutes to. I can spend 5 more minutes. So if you have any questions or anything else you'd like to ask me, feel free to raise your questions. We can discuss now. Any questions? Anything else? Any questions? Anything else? Okay, I am assuming you are good. I am good. Let's move on. Okay, so as I explained, based on your, based on Hari's confirmation, I will send out these details: timing, system, support, contact. Okay, so that's based on my decision, like who, what, when, and all. I will definitely let you all know tomorrow. Okay, before tomorrow. So that's very much what I have in my mind. I hope you found it very useful, and thanks for joining. And thank you very much. You have a wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you again either next week or even before as needed. You take care. You have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.